Good afternoon, robotics and coding students. It is Thursday afternoon, and this is the assignment video tutorial for a Scratch assignment called Ask Gobo. In this particular assignment, we'll be looking at creating a program that will use random number generation in order to answer questions that you ask a sprite named Gobo. And we'll see Gobo in a moment here. Now, the key thing to this particular assignment is that we're going to need to ask Gobo to make predictions or ask him to make some decisions for you. Asking Gobo factual questions like, what is my name, will not work. We want to ask something where Gobo can give you a bit of a funny answer. So if you've ever had the opportunity to play with the novelty toy, the Magic 8 Ball, that's kind of what Gobo is. He's going to give you a response to a question. But like I said, asking questions where Gobo will make a prediction or a decision of some sort will be best. So for example, you might want to ask something like, Gobo, should I have a cheeseburger to eat for dinner tonight? And Gobo's going to give you a response. Or you might want to ask Gobo, Gobo, do you think that this outfit looks good on me? And Gobo will give you a response. So let's get started here. The first thing we want to do, we're actually going to get rid of the cat. So click on the scissors here and click on the cat and he disappears. So we do not have any sprites right now. We're going to choose a sprite from the library. And Gobo is, I believe he's in fantasy, but we'll take a look. There he is. Again, if you truly want, you can choose any of the other characters in this particular thing, but Gobo's kind of cute, so we're going to use him. Actually, I don't know if Gobo's a girl or a boy, so you can decide what Gobo is. And the first thing we're going to do is Gobo's a tiny bit small, so we're going to make Gobo a bit bigger. We'll start with our event command. So when the flag is clicked, we are going to set the size of Gobo to 250%. So this will give Gobo some supersize action as soon as we begin. So there he is. Or I'll just call him a he, but it might be a she for you. Because Gobo's an alien of some sort, so it's tough to tell. And so Gobo's answers should be spoken in a serious setting. We're going to click on the backdrop symbol in the lower left corner of the Scratch window and load the Greek theater backdrop. Now drag Gobo to the center with your mouse. So I've kind of got him in the center. We will click here. And we are going to then click on the backdrop and click a new backdrop. And we are looking for the Greek theater. Here we go. So for those of you in grade 6, you will definitely be learning about the Greek theater in your social studies classes. And we're just going to get rid of that backdrop, leaving Gobo in this one. Okay. And here's the costumes that Gobo has. So you can see they're basically just his mouth is moving. So we've got that. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to need you to add the following to our to the Gobo script. So first thing we're going to do is use a say command. And actually the say command, we're going to do it for 3 seconds. So put that in. And the command, or sorry, what Gobo's going to say is, I can answer your yes or no questions. And he's going to do that for 3 seconds. And then he's going to say, and he's just going to say this one, he's just going to say, ask your question, then press space. So he will continue to say that. That'll just stay up there until the space is hit. So we are going to use a control event and a wait until command. So he's basically going to wait until the spacebar is pressed. So we go to sensing, and it's right there. Wait for it to get the kind of halo effect there, and then put that in. And so you're not typing it in or anything, you're actually saying it. So you're going to have to talk to the computer, talk to Gobo. So Gobo will ask, I can answer your yes or no questions, and then ask your question, and then press space. So I might say, as I've used as an example already, Gobo, do you like my outfit? And then I hit the space bar. So Gobo will say, again we use this one, so for 3 seconds, Gobo is going to say, wait, the answer is coming to me, ... Just as a random trivia, these ... things actually have a name, and they are called ellipses. And then we're going to put in a wait command. Okay, so a couple of things here that I just want to mention. This command right here, ask your question, then press space. It's kind of just a trick. Computer's not listening to you. It can't hear what you're saying. You could say nothing and then press the space bar. The program will come up with something. What it allows you to do is just kind of create some fun and just give the program a bit of life, if you will. So now what we're going to talk about for just a moment is that this idea of making random choices. Computers, if programmed in the exact same way, should produce the same results all the time. So computers are usually very predictable. Often with the same code and inputs, you'll get the same outputs. But you don't want that in this project. Gobo's script will mix things up with some random numbers. So what we need to do is add some more blocks to create Gobo's answer. Gobo will reply in one of two ways, which will number 1 or 2. So what we want to do, we're going to create a variable. So this is similar to the last program where we created that count variable. And we're going to make a variable called reply number. And then we will click on OK. And we've now got some other options here. Just a little note here. If this is checked, we will see what the value is over here. To hide it, we uncheck it. For right now, we'll leave it checked just in this kind of creation and testing phase. But once it's good to go and live, then we can take that out. And just this block here, we can actually set a value for reply number. We won't be doing that necessarily in this one. We're going to do some random number generation, as I mentioned. So random numbers, very cool. If we look in operators, we can actually find this is part of that random number generation. So there's some code going on behind the scenes here, but basically pick a random number from 1 to 10. We can change these. I could change it from 1 to 1,000,000. I could change it from 5 to 10. Really just depends on what we're doing. This type of command here, we could use that to actually create sprites or create clones of sprites. And I might create a video game where I have, maybe it's kind of like a Space Invaders type thing, and there's rocks or other spaceships coming at me. I can say, using random number generator, I want there to be a random number of spaceships that come at me between 5 and 10. And then that will change. Every time you play the game, you'll get a different kind of level of difficulty just with that random number generation. Or I could design the levels where it's going to be 1, and then level 2 gets 2, etc. So it's just different ways of looking at that. It's also how we might create randomness in the path that a character takes. Okay, so a random number is one that you can't predict before it appears. A dice roll is a random number. Any of the numbers from 1 to 6 could appear each time you roll the dice. You don't know which number will come up until you roll. In Scratch, you can get a random number using the Pick Random block. Drag this block into the scripts area and experiment with it. If you click on the block, it will tell you its value. It selects a random number each time. So we can actually do that. We can pull it out here, and it'll actually say, so if you look right there, it said 7, click on it again, it says 1, click on it again, it says 4, now 7, now 3. So you can see how that works. Okay, always going to be a number between 1 and 10, but it will be a random one in between there. So it is possible that you can have the same number come up twice, depending on how big this number is, there's less chance of it. If I say between 1 and 3, then there's 33% chance of getting that same number to come up. Each number can come up 1/3 of the time. So if my statistics hold true, I think that the chance of getting 2 numbers back to back would be like 1 in 9. So what we're going to do here is we are going to pull out this one here, and into the data menu, we're going to pull out set reply number 2. And this is what I really think is cool about Scratch. I can then click on this and drag it into that space. We saw a little bit of this in the last, potentially in the last video or the last assignment if you were trying to do a few more difficult things with it. So I'm going to set the reply number here to 1 to 2, which basically means it can come back with one or the other. Okay, so next I'm going to create an if block. So if, and here's where I can pull out reply number. And actually I'm just jumping a little bit ahead. I need an operator. This is where I'm going to allow it to say different things. And this is the equal operator button, which I think is pretty cool. And I can do this. If I say that the reply number, there we go, is equal to 1, then I want Gobo to say yes. So like my question before, Gobo, is this a nice shirt? If that random number generator picks 1 as the thing here, then Gobo's going to reply, yes it is. We're running low on time here, so I'll just quickly create the next one. If the operator is going to be equal to 2 this time, and its reply number equals 2, then we'll get him to say no. Video is just about done. Look for part 2.